Good morning, Isabella Crovetti. Welcome on VH Berries.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I am very grateful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I think I'm going to put this back in. I woke up very early today, but it actually made me kind of feel good because I usually wake up late and then I feel like the rest of the day. So it gave me a good excuse to set my sleep schedule back.
Mornings also means that there is more sunlight because through your work, Isabella Crovetti, you are showing that voices can also have shadows, like an object facing the sun, because you are bringing true colors, personalities, and energy to characters to bring them back to life.
Very poetic. Thank you. Yeah. I've been doing voiceover I actually just thought of this last night for about I already forgot, 9 years. I started in 3rd grade and now I'm going into senior year, so it's been a while.
It's been a while. Isabella Crovetti, because furthermore, this relationship with the morning is important, especially because it is the time when children, so the audience, is watching a cartoon, and especially some of in which you're starring.
Right. I feel like a big part of growing up is waking up and then eating a really, really sugary cereal. Mine's always been Lucky Charms. That's my go-to one. And just watching cartoons in the morning with your family, right? That's the best when you're a little kid. I still like doing it. Just my family doesn't want to anymore.
I would love to retrace the journey that you've been through for the last couple years, especially in the 2 cartoons that I implicitly mentioned that are called Shimmer and Shine and Vampirina. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so Shimmer and Shine is on Nickelodeon, and it's about 2 sister genies. And I feel like it's such a cute show. Everybody who worked on it was amazing. I started it in 3rd grade, and it went for 5 years. And it was a really big part of my life, so when it ended, it was kind of weird, because every week I would drive down almost an hour into Burbank to the Nickelodeon studios and have to record the episodes every week. So when it ended, it was a really weird transition in my life. And then on top of that, I also did Vampirina, which is a Disney Junior children's show. And I'd have to go down, I forget where the studio was, Studiopolis, somewhere far away, a long drive. I'd have to leave school early 2 times a week to drive down to one studio, record for 4 hours, then go to the other studio, record for another 4 hours, another day. So having that in school, just I'd always be absent, and people would be like, where the heck did Bella go? And especially with acting, I just would leave for months on end, and people thought I left or something. And then they're like, I'd randomly show up after filming and they'd be like, wait, you still go to this school? I'm like, yes, I do. But with the voiceovers, I won't get into the live action right now. For voiceovers, I was doing 2 leading voiceovers for I think 3 years. I was doing 2 at the same time. That was my dog. He's right next to me. Hey, Zuma. And it was just after they ended, it was a really weird thing not to have those recordings every week. But I'm really glad that I had that opportunity to do that, because a lot of people, they still come up to me and they're like, oh my God, my kids watch your shows. They're they grow up hearing your voice, which is so weird to think about. But it makes me happy to think that I'm like a part of a kid's childhood, which is so weird to think about, but it's cute. I love it.
If I understood correctly, Isabella Crovetti, you mean that by stopping to take the car after the end of one of the two shows, it broke the routine, but
Yes.
hopefully your routine concerning cereals kept going.
No, it didn't. I sadly did not. As I got older and as my family got older, we stopped doing the morning cereal and TV cartoons. So it's all just like, and I'm not good with change, so it's like, but it's okay. It was not too long ago, but I've gotten used to it, so it's okay now. And I have a new Disney Junior show, recording show as well, so I'm still going into the studio to record now.
Now you got the right breakfast habits, and as you just mentioned, you're going back to the studio booth, which is a wonderful place for you because, as you just mentioned before, you grew up in that places by making commercials and then slowly shifting to more cartoon and feature films that we will get back after.
Right, yes. Well, do you want to know, like, how it all started? Or I don't really know.
Why not? Absolutely.
Why not? Okay, we'll go back to the origins. So I've been acting for 11 years. I started when I was in kindergarten, so maybe like 5 or 6. And it all just happened kind of on accident. It just was so random how I went into it. My mom and dad worked in the industry, but like they didn't think about getting me into acting. My mom was thinking about getting my brothers into acting, and they're identical twins. And Hollywood just like loves identical twins as when you're younger, because you can have two play the same character. It's really easy. But they were a little too young to start. So when she called up my manager, they like would not listen. I don't know how old they were, maybe like 3, but not their time yet. Now they're acting. But they were in Big Little Lies. Cameron was in The Boys. Nikki's gonna be in the new Salem's Lot. So they're doing great now that they're acting. But originally, when they were 3, my mom called a manager and she's like, "Hi, I have twin boys, just want to like see if they want to get in." And I apparently came up and just started like talking to her like a lot. And I'm like, I don't know, "Mom, what are you doing? I want to do this. Blah, 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 blah. Can we get candy?" or some like childy thing like that. And the manager was like, "Who's that girl in the background? She sounds fun. You should bring her in. Bring her in, and I want to see her." So my mom's like, "Okay." She brought me in. She liked me. My talk keeps moving around the room. And then she signed me, and that's kind of how I started. But I didn't really get a lot of auditions for the first maybe year or so. We didn't hear anything. And then one day we just randomly got an audition. My mom could have said yes or no. Literally, that could have changed my whole life by taking that audition or not. But she said yes. And then I went to the audition and I booked the commercial. And that's just kind of how it started to ramp up. I booked more commercials, and then I got an agent as well. But I only started with commercials, because usually what they do is they start you with the small stuff, and they're like, "Okay, if you're doing good, we'll ramp you up to the movies." I started booking commercials, and then it's a long story. It's a process, but basically, here I am. I got into the, movie, TV show auditioning, and then I booked my first TV show on ABC when I was first grade. I literally go by grade. I don't remember what age I was, because it's like when I was in school. But that's just kind of how it started. Ramped up. A little rambly, but yeah.
And Isabella Crovetti, you just mentioned your identical twins brothers. And now it makes a lot of sense for me because it allows the studio production to not use CGI to replicate someone.
Yes, but not also that. Some people don't know. When you're a minor, you can only work a certain amount of hours. So if they need a child to be the lead, and that child can only work like, I don't know, 7, 8 hours a day, that's like not enough time. I don't even think they can work that much. So having twins, it's like you can have one child and then switch them out and keep on working. Because productions, they can go all night.
And what was your most memorable advertising campaign or project related to that? Because as the date of today, sometimes advertising or literally little movies, and they're putting a lot of equipment and storytelling into that.
I can't really remember commercials. I was in this one Disney Plus movie called Magic Camp, and we got to do a lot of fun things for that. But one of the best things, in my opinion, I told you before in the beginning how I love Lucky Charms. So in the movie, the group of kids who are the leads get milk and Lucky Charms dumped on our heads. I'm not even kidding. Giant buckets of Lucky Charms, and they fall down literally like a dream. You could feel the weight of the milk and the Lucky Charms just like hitting your head. We were covered and like really sticky, and I even got to eat the Lucky Charms like off my shoulder. So my brain always goes to that moment. And if someone's like, "What was your favorite part?" I was like, something involving food. Definitely.
Absolutely. And to come back to the present moment, Isabella Crovetti, last year was a sort of headline for you and your journey.
Yeah.
Because of one titled and feature film called He's All That.
Yes, that was definitely the big one, especially being on Netflix and with Addison being in the movie. It got a lot of attention, which I was very grateful for because, with acting, you could be booking for your whole life, but if the project, doesn't get big, it's hard to really get like any recognition. So after that, I definitely like my Instagram and everything kind of started, and I started social media really. But that was also a really, really fun one to film, mostly because it was people close to my age and it was about being a high schooler. I literally got to play my own age for once, so that was nice.
You're playing this very crucial character called Bryn Queller. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the stories and the purposes of these pieces of art is about, and about the special role of Bryn into that?
Oh yeah, Bryn was she was kind of like the glue / matchmaker. She basically just like meddled in her brother's life, but it was worth it because she definitely helped. Basically, if you haven't seen the movie, it's just a very fun comedic teen romance movie about a girl and a boy. The girl's like very, very popular and the boy is not, and she makes a bet with her friends that if she can turn this very, very unpopular boy into the next prom king, she will win the bet. But if she doesn't, she's gonna get like something bad happens to her. So that's basically what the movie's about, and they bond, obviously, while they're, she's helping him become the better version of himself. And Bryn's character, my character, basically just kind of like does this to them. And it's like, get together already. It's just sad. So she definitely helps with that. That's like the main point of Bryn, basically.
Absolutely, and we can see that this movie has a lot of rhythm, a lot of music. You're moving a lot, and that we can feel that you had a lot of fun on the set.
Yes, I did. I sadly didn't get to dance at the prom, but it's okay because I was a sophomore. I was playing a sophomore.
And Isabella Crovetti, if we go even further back in time and in the past, there is also that movie Joy, a very emotional one in which you are playing a very young character. So we can say that 2015 was also a very important year for you.
Yeah, when you said the date, just made me realize how kind of long ago that was. But I still remember it like very vividly. So I was fortunate enough to play a young Jennifer Lawrence in the movie Joy. And if anybody does not remember, it's the one with the mop. That's what everybody says. Like, oh yes, the mop one. But I have great memories from that one. A lot of the things, what they do with movies is they film more than they need. So a lot of my scenes were cut, sadly, but like a lot of other people's scenes were cut. Like they cut everything, basically. But I got to act with Jennifer Lawrence, who was like kind of an icon, an idol for me. She's so cool. Like genuinely just like a really nice down-to-earth person. And I remember just like doing things like teaching her my dance recital and choir performance, like dances and sign language that we did, talking about like the video games I was obsessed with when I was a kid, like Animal Jam. I was obsessed with that. I'm not gonna hide that. And like there was this one scene where it was snowing, big storm, and I'm supposed to like walk away from her, like very majestically. And then after every take, I'd have to crouch down so the camera doesn't see me in these bushes, but there was a bunch of cute little rocks. So every time they yelled cut, I would pick up some rocks that I found that were cute, and I'd run over and I'd be like, Jen, here, I found these rocks. I got them for you. She'd take them and she'd be like, oh, these are so sweet. She had like a cup of rocks at the end of the shooting of that scene. But we sat in the cast chair. She told me a lot of like fun behind the scenes things about the Hunger Games. She's just a really nice person.
I think that in a couple years or maybe decades, you are going to release Joy director cuts by Isabella Crovetti and add all your deleted scenes.
I know, yeah. It's okay though. It happens. It's fine. It's just like memorizing. So the director, David O. Russell, that worked on the film, he's notorious for changing the script a lot. I love him, but every time I'd come into the trailer in the morning, I'd see the sides for the day, and they'd be completely changed. So I'd have to memorize them like an hour or two before filming the actual scene. So it was like fresh, and then they keep changing it. So you just kind of have to like always be ready that what you have prepared is probably not what you're going to actually film.
Isabella Crovetti, I am looking forward to see your impact in your upcoming releases, including the one concerning that animated cartoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my dog just like got up randomly and hit the camera. But thank you for having me. It was really nice talking to you, and I'm sorry that my dog kept making noise.